morning, sports fans. ASMR Sports back in your business, and I have just returned from being out of town, where I was able to attend a couple of card shows. One of them was a Pokemon show. One of them was a sports card show that had a few people selling Pokemon cards. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised at the sports card one, because usually when I go to a sports card show, there's like very little I'm actually interested in. It's a lot of, ultra modern singles, a lot of football, the latest quarterback of the week in, PSA 10 slabs and stuff that I just think is completely uninteresting to me. I mean, God bless if you like that stuff. That's great. And, just about any card show you go to, any sports card show you go to, will have, plenty of good stuff for you to take a peek at. Actually, 1 second here. I'm going to adjust my microphone. Okay. So it's just not, the majority of stuff I see at most sports card shows these days is not stuff that I personally, want to collect or buy. But what I do love is older, unopened sports cards, and historically, whether in Minneapolis, where I was traveling to this weekend, or in my native North Dakota, there's been very little of the kind of stuff that I'm after. Oftentimes I'll go to a show and literally there'll be nothing. Like maybe one guy has a box of 87 tops or something like that, and it's overpriced. But other than that, there's really nothing. So I was very pleasantly, well, I wouldn't say there was a lot of stuff at this card show, but there was definitely some good stuff. I bought from three or four different dealers, and I got, I think very good pricing on all the items I bought, and I actually would have bought probably more, but I had the Pokemon show to go to the next day, and I kind of wanted to make sure I had enough for that, because I was expecting to buy a lot of stuff there, but I actually ended up buying almost nothing there. And if I had a time machine, I would have bought much more at the first show, the sports card show that I went to, because they had some really cool stuff that I bought, a good chunk of, but not all of, and they actually had better Pokemon deals, I felt, there as well, compared to the Pokemon show that had 150 tables. So if you're interested in Pokemon cards, check out my other channel, Poke Relaxing, if you have not already. It's a kind of a softly spoken Pokemon focused channel. And in any event, so I just wanted to show you guys, kind of just do a little show and tell here of the stuff that I bought, talk about the prices that I got and whether they're good, whether they're bad. Alright, so first we have a box of 86 Fleer baseball cards. I'll try to give you a little better view here. There it is, and boy, I love these boxes. I have a very sentimental place in my heart for 86 Fleer baseball, because when I was a kid, for my ninth birthday, I think, I got a rack pack of 86 Fleer from my mom, among other things, but for some reason that rack pack of 86 Fleer seemed like the coolest effing thing. I had no idea that my mom had gotten that. I don't think I mean, I'm sure I asked for baseball cards, because, I was a huge baseball card collector then, as were all my friends. But 86 Fleer at that time was, and this was probably, gosh, I don't know, 87 or something, but 86 Fleer was, you know, a little bit older. Man, I'm getting some weird feedback here. Move my microphone back a little bit. I forget how I was saying, but what I was saying exactly. But point is, I never would have bought 86 Fleer myself because, you know, the packs were quite expensive compared to the sort of MSRP that they, you know, were supposed to be sold for like whatever 45 cents or something like that. I mean, they were probably like $1 or something, so that was like huge money, but to me back then. So my mom really came through and delivered with this 86 Fleer rack pack, which had 3, you know, wax packs inside of it, wrapped up in cellophane, and I have actually a bunch of those. At this point, I have like a box of them, and then I have like a 12 rack pack lot that's sealed up by BBCE, and I think I might have some loose ones too. So maybe someday I'll do a video on those. But one of the things I saw at this card show at a dealer that had quite a good bunch of older stuff was a bunch of boxes that he had actually, you know, set up for like individual pack sales. And I was looking at the pricing of the individual packs, and I thought, wow, those seems like really good deals. I kind of want to just buy the whole box of a bunch of those things. So this was one of them. I have to change the angle of this camera so we can see a little bit better. So this was one of them. One of the boxes he had opened, and he had a, you know, price of $3 a pack, which is really good. Because I think these boxes go for like $150 to $200, and interestingly, I'll show you another thing I bought from this guy. He had a complete box. Although it kind of looks like maybe this one was once open for display as well, because the perforation there is broken, but that can happen in a lot of ways. He had a complete box that he had marked for sale, like elsewhere in his booth, and he had like $150 on that box, and so I was saying to him, oh, it's kind of weird that I feel like there was one pack missing from here, but it kind of, I don't know, it does look a little bit lower. Anyways, I was like, oh, well, if I bought all of these, you know, and there's 36 packs in here, although I think, again, there's only 35, that's actually cheaper than the price you have on your box. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I'll sell that full box for, you know, $100. You know, if 36 times 3 is like whatever that is, like $94 or something. Now I have to do the math because can't believe that's $108. Sorry, $108. So that was like cheaper again for the loose packs than it was for the complete box. So anyways, I was like, you know, I'll give you $100 for the 35 packs in here, and $100 for that, no problem. So that was deal number one. I haven't looked at the price on these, but actually I'm thinking to myself, like, 86 Tops wax boxes, like unsealed, I think are like up to $150 right now, which is like insane to me. I mean, those things were like $20, and you could buy as many as you wanted at that price, like, you know, kind of before the pandemic. And they went up during the pandemic, but I think they're actually higher now than they were during the pandemic, which is there's not much you can say that about in the sports card world, but like 86 Tops, it apparently is true. So anyways, I love this set. I can't say there's really, you know, cards in this set that I'm particularly in love with. Weird, so this actually has 9 packs in that stack that I thought was short. Let's make sure all of the other stacks have 9. Yeah, so I don't know, I think this is a full box. Yeah, I'm seeing 9 packs. Very strange. I don't know why I thought one pack was missing from this box, but so did the guy I bought it from. He was like, oh, there's a pack missing. But I don't think there is. So, alright, I got 2 full boxes. Well, that's... I was thinking about opening one of these if it was an incomplete box, but now that I think it's complete, I don't really want to. Because then I'll have an incomplete box, but we'll see how I feel. Another thing I love about this set is, 86 Fleer basketball is like one of the most expensive sealed products, on Earth. Not, excluding like stuff from the 50s and 60s, right? Certainly anything, kind of post 70, or maybe we'll say 1975, anything post 1975, 86 Fleer basketball is like, the most expensive stuff out there on a per pack basis, and this, this stuff is like a cousin of it, or maybe even a brother, we'll say, since it, it was produced in the same year by the same company on the same equipment as the vaunted 86 Fleer basketball. So I feel like that makes this kind of special to me, as a collector of older wax products. So that's another reason I love this set, and it is, it's getting more and more valuable. Again, it's always going to be worth more than the tops from 80s, from the same year. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Always going to be the case for like Fleer versus tops value, but in 86, the Fleer set is, I think, always going to be significantly more valuable than the top set because it's just, quite a bit less produced. So if the boxes of tops are going for 150, which I think they are, they might be a little bit less than that, then these will be going for a bit more, so maybe they're 180 or 190 or something. I don't know, I haven't looked. But anyways, another, okay, maybe this was the box that had a pack missing, but actually I don't think it did. Yeah, no, it wasn't. That's so weird. I think those packs are just like smooshed or something in that Fleer box, and it made it seem like one was missing, but it doesn't seem like one is, so who knows. Alright, so this was another box that the guy had, out as an open display that he was selling per pack, and I think he had like $4 a pack on these, which is not like a terribly good deal if I bought all of them at that price, which I think I did. So 36 times 4 is 144. Yeah, so 144 for a box of this stuff is not a terrible deal, but it's not like a super great steal. I bought 10 boxes of this stuff, BBCE wrapped, for like $135 a box plus shipping, which added probably another $3-4 per box. I bought 10 of them, so I got a good deal on that shipping. But and that was like maybe a month and a half ago I got that. So 144 for a unwrapped box is not a steal by any stretch, but it's not a bad deal. And this actually is a box that has no X mark on it, like a lot of these boxes do. So if I got this wrapped, it would probably be a bit more valuable than the ones I paid $134 or whatever for, because those are all X out boxes. So I very well may have this wrapped, especially because when you have it wrapped, this popped, perforation will just lay down and look a little bit nicer. So if I got it wrapped and it's a non-X out box, which are significantly rarer than the X out boxes, maybe it could be worth like $200, and I would pay probably $10 plus shipping to wrap it. So if I had a bunch of stuff to send in, I might include that with it. But I don't know. I'm probably never gonna pass up an 88 Fleer or 88 Tops football box that's like underneath, comps. So I had to pick that one up. All right. So next one I think is a bit of a steal. I am always on the lookout for 87 Tops football. I think I probably have a couple of BBCE wrapped boxes of this stuff at this point. and I have a bunch of BBC wrapped cello boxes, which are not very fun to look at because it's just like this generic sort of packaging that doesn't show the cards or really anything about the set on the outside, so they're not very much fun to display. But I love this set, and I think it's getting, it's very rapidly drying up. Like, I think, a couple of years ago, you could probably find these for like $150, but boy, I have a heck of a time finding them for, less than like 300, $400, and I think I looked up the comps on this like after I bought it, and there are, boxes of these things selling for I think like $400 at this point. So $250 for this one, which is what I paid. I just paid the sticker price. Felt like a pretty good deal. Now this box is beat to hell, and it is an X out. So, and look at the box over, and he's got it taped up here too, I noticed. So, there is definitely some, I think, diminished value because of that. But still, anytime I can pick up a box of this stuff for, under market, I'm a pretty happy camper. And that's why I added this one. This was actually the first thing that I bought from the guy. So that's probably one where actually I'd love to find like a replacement box to put this in, and then send this in for wrapping would be, I think, ideal. I mean, really, all of these could be wrapped, and it would be well worth the time and money to do that because of the increase in price that you'd get from that. So that's probably where a lot of these are going to hit. I don't know when, but eventually. Speaking of wrapped boxes, here's a box that was actually wrapped. Came from the same guy as the previous boxes that you've seen here. And I've always been a huge fan of 83 Topps football for a few reasons, one of which is that, like, historically this stuff has been dirt cheap as compared to other Topps football sets. Like 84 Topps football, $2,000 a box. 85 Topps football, about $600-700 a box. 87 Topps or 86 Topps football is next. That's probably a $1,500 box. So 83 has always been cheap compared to its neighboring sets from Topps. And if you know anything about my sort of collecting and what I like cheap stuff. So I've always been a fan of this stuff for that reason. I remember back when I was a kid, you can get a whole box of this for like $15, $20, and nobody wanted them. I also like this because it has rookie cards of Marcus Allen, who was my favorite football player growing up, and that card has never been particularly valuable, but come on, it's my favorite player, so his rookie cards in here, you gotta like this set. So anyways, I love 83 Topps football boxes. Again, they used to be super cheap. Now they're not so cheap anymore, but I don't know. I just have always appreciated them. I think this big football on the front there is pretty sweet looking, and yeah. Anyways, what's not to love? But yeah, a lot of these are X outs, like this one is. Get you a different angle. See that little black splotch there? So that's the X out. And if you can find a non-X out box, you're looking at something that's pretty rare. And I think I might have one non-X out somewhere. But I have a few of the X outs, and I also have 83 Topps football in like a 1981 Topps football box, which is actually how they distributed them. Some of them back in 1983, trying to use up their old boxes they had left over from prior sets, which is something that Topps did, on a number of occasions with different sets back in the 80s. So, anyways, so the sticker on this was $450. I offered $400 for it, and we settled at $425. And then I looked it up, and these actually have ended up being a better deal than I had thought, because I sort of thought they were actually comping right around 450, and at one time, of course, they were, but turns out they've gone up, a good bit, I think, since this time, which was probably the last time I picked some up, maybe a year and a half ago or so. So I think I saw comps at, like 500, 550 for this box, BBCE wrapped. So 425 turns out to be a really nice deal on this, and glad I picked it up, since it was the most expensive item that I purchased at that show. So, alright, next up we just have two of the same thing. Namely, 1987 Fleer baseball wax box. This is actually a box that I have been thinking a lot about trying to pick up more of lately. I don't have a ton of this stuff. I have like a couple cello boxes of this stuff, but not too many of the wax boxes. I think I used to have more, but I sold some at some point in the last like 3-4 years. So I don't have a lot of these, or maybe I don't even have one before these. I feel like I must have somewhere, but I might not. But I just, I've always been shocked at how cheap these things are. Like the idea that this box is, like something like 40% less right now than 86 Tops box of wax packs is like insane to me, right? Because in 87 and 88 and 89, this box was one of the hottest like friggin' products on earth, because it had like, well, it was just so much less produced than like 87 Tops, and certainly 86 Tops too. But I'm comparing, one year to another year of different manufacturers here. So, anyways, this was definitely seen as very rare compared to Tops or even Donruss back in 87 and 88 and 89. So all the rookies, that were in here were much more valuable in this set than in their counterparts in the 87 Donruss and Tops sets. So I just remember always, this box was just so loved. This set was so loved by collectors compared to the other 87 sets. So, the fact that it has been so low valued in the last, 5, 6, 7 years has always kind of shocked me. I guess it is more valuable than the 87 Donruss set. But I think there might have been a time when that was not true, like in the last 6 years. But point is, I think this thing has been criminally undervalued, considering how, respected and appreciated and loved it was by the hobby back in the, time when it was released, and for the next, like 10 years after, especially like when Barry Bonds was on his big home run campaigns back in the late 90s. His rookie cards in here were the most valuable rookie cards of him, and so this stuff had kind of a second life, good 10, 11, 12 years after it was released because of Barry Bonds rookie cards in it. Everything else kind of not so valuable now because, Jose Canseco, like, what are you going to do with that? Will Clark, what are you going to come on? So, it's the lack of, Hall of Fame rookie cards in here that really holds this and every other 87 set back. But, there's not any Hall of Fame rookie cards in 86 Tops, and that's $150 a box. So the fact that this stuff is like, I think market on this is about $100 a box. I mean, and that just seems like criminally too low to me. So I've thought for a while it would be great to just come up with a bunch of this stuff. So I found a guy selling it for $85, And again, I think market's about 100. He had 2 of the boxes, so I was like, can you do, I think I offered him like 150 for both of them, so that'd be 75 each. And he, countered with 80, and I said, yeah, no problem, we can do that. So, again, I haven't looked these up, so I don't know what the market is, but my guess is they're probably around 100. It's possible they're a little bit less or a little bit more than that, but probably not by much. So anyways, that's just kind of what my thinking was with these. I mean, I had been thinking for, probably a year that it would be cool to have a bunch more of these, but I wasn't seeking them out or anything, and I, probably would not go on eBay kind of hunting them down. But, when I see them at a show and I think they're probably under comps, I'm going to pick them up. So these are just wrapped in cellophane. The guy said he bought them in 1991. Which is funny because I'm thinking, like, man, I bet you probably paid more for these in 91. And that's not even accounting for inflation, which would, exacerbate how much more you paid for these in 91 than now. But it's possible these were more than $85 in 1991 because, again, all of the cards that were hot in this stuff were hot in 91 for sure. But I did want to open this up, get this cellophane off of here, and take a peek inside. I will say that if there is a box that is, at risk of being searched or resealed, I think this is definitely, at least for, the sort of junk wax era, one of the main culprits, just because at one point the rookie cards in here were very, very sought after and valuable, and so I could see definitely somebody going through the trouble of trying to dig out the Jose Cansecos and the Barry Bonds and the Will Clarks from here, even though today that would be sort of silly and a waste of your time. But, again, maybe I don't know why I said again, I don't know if I've said it, but you have to sort of think about those things. When you buy 7, ideally these would not have been wrapped, and I could have just taken a quick peek at the packs because I'm, pretty good at sussing out suspect packs, but this does look like a very clean box. The perforation is intact. Everything is pretty tight. I think that cellophane definitely protected the surface, so it's all very clean looking. And, not much wear on, the back, so it's actually a very fresh looking box, which is nice. And when I have trouble getting these, like, unsealed, that's usually a good sign. Just love this vibrant blue color. The packs look very tight in here, which is a good sign. The wrapping seems very tight, which is another good sign. Folds are clean, very flush against, the flat sides there. Roller marks look pretty dang clean on this, so these packs look quite nice to me. They have a little tiny bit of a bend, which, can just happen from humidity in, storage conditions. But yeah, these things look pretty phenomenal to me, and actually these boxes are super clean because they've been wrapped up, for, I don't know what it is, 30 years. Since 1991. So yeah, these are really cool looking, and, should be perfectly legit. And probably something I want to get wrapped by Baseball Card Exchange when the time comes. I think I've got kind of a growing collection of things I've picked up, in raw form that I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of, like, non-sports boxes. Oh yeah, I bought think. Hopefully this one is as clean as the last one. It does look like a little bit of kind of like this top flap kind of bent over the side there, which can definitely happen. That did not happen on the other box though, so this one might be a little bit more kind of beat up. We'll find out. Yeah, I probably should do a video on like non-sports pickups that I've made. Like sealed non-sports pickups that I've made in the last, I don't know, 3-4 months. I actually can't remember what I've bought, but hopefully there's more than just that one box I was talking about. That's my holy grail. This cellophane definitely has like aged. It's like kind of yellowing and it's a little brittle. But it definitely has, I think, protected these boxes and preserved, their condition quite nicely. And it's not like melted into goop just yet, but another couple years it might have. So, alright. Yeah, I mean, I presume this is from the same, like, case and source as the first one that we opened, but we'll take a quick peek. Alright. Oh, it's kind of falling apart there on the side, so I'm going to put a little glue or something in there. And these packs look a little bit kind of more beat up. And a little less tightly wrapped, so definitely not as clean as the other ones. Let's take a look at the rollers and see what we see. Yeah, roller marks look pretty solid on this. Look the same as the other ones, so I would imagine these are legit, even though they do not look as nice. I mean, this kind of, sloppiness has been known to happen quite frequently in 86 and 87 stuff, but I do think these are probably legit, so, we'll find out for sure when these go into the baseball card exchange. It'll be an interesting experiment to send them both in. Imagine they're both going to come back fine, but if one doesn't, it's going to be this one, so we will find out in due course. But yeah, so overall the packs in here are not as tight and clean as the packs in the other box, but I don't know, everything does seem, it seems kind of tight. It's just the wrapping kind of like pressed on the edges there and sort of brought them down. So this box looks a little worse than the other one, but in terms of, just like surface of the packaging and stuff like that, and the kind of tightness of the box, there's not any loose space in there like there sometimes can be with wax boxes. In terms of all those things, this box seems pretty solid. So yeah, probably heading to BBCE along with that other one. And that's what we got, folks. That's all that's on the agenda for today. Yeah, I was really thinking I had 35 packs in that one box, and that we could open some, but not to be. Just look at that other box and see if there's one missing from that. That's what I was thinking. I don't know. Yeah, no, that one looks full. Very strange. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, folks, that's what we got for today. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys enjoy a little bit of vintage wax packs, which is certainly my favorite thing in sports cards. Alright, we'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one, and we will see you then.